You're listening to the Decentralized Talk Podcast, your crypto connection.
Decentralized Talk. Decentralized Talk.
Welcome to another thought-provoking episode of Decentralized Talk Podcast. This is our 17th weekly show now in production, and we're going to blow your decentralized minds. This is where Heston puts in a sound effect of like a... we got notable picks today like Oxycoin. We got stocks coming at you and Elastic or XEL. And our 3-on-3 fast break where we do a deep dive coin review into T0. Or T0. Decent. This is not investing advice. This is just our opinions. Please do your own research when investing in cryptocurrencies. Today, our focus and our show topic. I like show topic. We were trying to figure out earlier what we were going to call this segment. We used to call it Coin of the Week.
No, we never called it Coin of the Week.
What do we call it?
This Week in Crypto.
This Week in Crypto, that's right. Yeah, that's how exciting it was. I don't remember what it was called. This Week in Crypto, but we decided to change that up.
There was a little while there. I think we were calling all of our segments Coin of the Week. Yeah. Coin of the Week, Coin of the Week. Back with Coin of the Week. 3
coins of the week. All right, 3-on-3 Coin of the Week fast break. Welcome to the Coin of the Week podcast.
This is your Coin of the Week, followed by your next Coin of the Week.
This is your Coin of the Week.
Tune in every week for your Coin of the Week.
So we decided we're going to go with show topic. Keep it real flat, real obvious. So you want to know what we're doing right here. It's the show topic. So the show topic for today is, drum roll please, security tokens. So, and just to start this off, security tokens are becoming kind of a buzzword. They're becoming kind of a hot term in the market right now. 2 things about the word security tokens before we get started. Security tokens is also already a word for something in the past. If you had a Fortune 500 job in the last, 10 to 15 years, you carried a security token. I used to carry one for AT&T. And it's basically, we call it a VPN, right? Or a VPN token, but a security token is synonymous with those little keychain things that you used to carry around that created a different random code, and that would be your security token to get on. So that is not what we're talking about. Also, security tokens don't have anything to do beyond the fact that they're decentralized and on a blockchain with security, like OPSEC, operational security. They don't have anything to do with keeping you safe, if that makes sense. The security that we're talking about today, right? So
in a sense, they might.
In a sense, right? So that's where the term comes from. But what we're talking about when we say security tokens and security tokens in the crypto market, think less of the Navy SEALs and more of Securities and Exchange Commission. Prater, I'll let you take it away from here. I'll read the first line here on our outline. What the fuck are security tokens?
Well, I think let's start this off by, what is a security? So I guess commonly, when you're thinking about a security, you're thinking about a note, a bond, a stock, some sort of debt, a future, an option, commonly, stock trading stuff and stuff related to that field. The technical definition of a security is a tradable financial asset of any kind. And securities can be broadly categorized, and they're actually kind of I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Scrutinized, not scrutinized, but
Regulated?
Regulated.
well, not regulated. Well,
Highly
yes,
regulated?
scrutinized, regulated, but
No.
Down up.
questioned.
It was a
Like,
clear black night.
is it a security? Is it not a security? You can make a case in both directions, for a lot of stuff of being a security. So that when it comes to securities in the crypto space, there's a lot of people questioning whether certain cryptocurrencies, crypto utility tokens are actually securities at this point, or have been securities at one point in their lifespan.
So I'm
So give
gonna
me an example of
I'm
a
gonna take you
security.
guys back to history class right now. So where this whole security thing started, of what is a security here. So back in the day, back in the Wild West, people used to travel around just like there were snake oil salesmen. There were traveling salesmen that sold stocks too, and they used to go up to a farm and just lean over the fence and basically take these people's life savings that
Pork
they've
butts,
earned
pork
for,
bellies.
yeah, and they spend their life savings and buy a freaking penny stock that was worthless. So in 1933, the government came and started the Securities Act, which basically defined what a security is. And the big difference of what a security is as compared to a commodity is a security, it's an investment with the expectation that it will go up in price because of the work of the people involved in the investment. So the company that you're investing in, they will work to increase the price of the asset that you're investing in. So
Which is just a very definite way to say a stock, right? Or a
pretty
bond.
much.
Or
Yeah, pretty much. But it
a-
could be. It could be. There's all kinds of assets that could be defined as securities. But the
Most
big difference,
commonly, stocks, bonds, debt,
yeah, that's
interest in companies, governments, or private businesses.
most people when they're talking about securities. That's what they're talking about: stocks and bonds and stuff like that.
So when we say security token, guys, what we're saying is, and again, this is not like definitive, but if you just want like an easy, like a quick reference, security tokens for idiots guide, when you think of it in your head, again, security, don't get tripped up in the word security. Think of a security as in a stock or a representative of a
Blanket.
portion of a government. Also think of Linus.
My understanding, there's like 3 types of cryptos out there. There's cryptocurrencies, which act as a currency like cash or euro. There's utility tokens, which are performing a job on the network. They have to perform a utility. And then there's security tokens, which are more of an investment in the company itself in expectation, not hope, an expectation that the price will go up because of the work of the company that you're investing in.
And these security tokens are brand new, right?
I don't understand that part of it, because I feel like even when I'm investing in a stock, I don't have an expectation that stock's going to go up. I have a hope, but I still don't have an expectation. And that's considered a security. So that in itself confuses me about the security. Just
Maybe it's not an expectation that it will go up, but an expectation that it could go up.
But that's the
By
that's the
definition,
wording.
by definition, it is an expectation that it will go up.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean
Well, I
it
guess
will,
there's
but
some
it's an expectation that it will.
Okay, well, but
think that's
you wouldn't put your money into something that you expected to go down.
Unless you're shorting it.
Yeah, but then you're
it's still a
then you're
security.
applying- you're
Okay,
applying
well,
short,
So
and then you win net out of it, right?
that's a
But-
good
but
topic
still-
to discuss here is like what, why would it be defined as a security? How do they determine like what's a security, if you expect it to go up or you expect it to go down? So in 1946, they started this thing called the Howey test. There was a Supreme Court ruling, and the Howey test basically is what they use to determine if something is a security or not. So there's 4 basic rules. There's 4 rules that an asset has to follow to be defined as a security. One, it's an investment of money. Two, there's an expectation of profits from the investment. Three, the investment of money is a common enterprise. And four, any profit comes from the efforts of the promoter or third party. So that brings you to the point of what's the difference in a utility token and a security. The big difference is a security token is profits that come from the efforts of the promoter, so the company you're investing in. As with a utility token, the profits are coming from the adoption of the coin itself. So your utility token is doing work. Say, my example is Ether. Now, I know tomorrow is going to be a big day for Ether, and by the time this recording is out,
Sunday the 6th.
yeah,
April.
the ruling will already
Before
be
we get to that,
found. But
May 6th.
I would just like to.
April.
The Howey test isn't the only test that they use for deciding if it's a security or not. The Supreme Court's used other tests,
SAT.
like there's a family resemblance test. So basically, they take other.
That baby don't look like me.
Yeah, exactly.
That nose.
You say that, Tater, but that's exactly how the test works. They take other applications and compare them to that one, and if that application is not considered a security, then they can justify and say, okay, well, Ether,
Yeah, so that's just an argument for
and
precedent.
Cardano's not a security, so Ether's not a security, and that's basically the family resemblance test.
That makes sense. So I think this is something that's been a long time coming in the crypto space, because I know all of us have gotten excited about a coin. Then you deep dive into it, you start to read the white paper or the abstract. Let's be honest, you read the abstract, or you go to a YouTube video and listen to somebody else give you the abstract of the white paper that they read,
or you listen to the D-Talk podcast and find out about your.
Or you pick it up on. Yeah, but we don't give you investment advice here.
No, it's not investment advice, but we do the research for our audience.
Yeah, and we help point you in the right direction. And so one of the things that you'll run into when you're doing your research is that you find a product, you find a coin that you like, and you're like, oh man, hey, I really like this company, basically, right? Or I like this product that this coin is offering. And then you get tied up in the confusion of, well, I don't understand why I need to buy a coin for this. Like we're going to talk about Oxycoin when I talk about today. That's it has a token, but it's an exchange, and there's a lot of exchanges out there that have tokens. And when you think about it, I mean, some of them make a use case for it, but I think even for a lot of the companies right now that are starting ICOs and the companies that exist in the space, it's a hassle for them, because if you want to raise money for your product or for your company or for your coin, your ICO, you kind of have to call it a coin, and you have to pitch it as a currency or this, when really it's just a really badass blockchain based technology, and you want to get it into the space and get it on the coin market cap so that you can get an investment into it. So now with these security tokens, you don't have to, these companies, I think you're going to see it more. This is my prediction now, but I think you're going to see more and more that people are not going to have to finagle themselves into selling you a token for you to try to use on their platform. They'll just sell you the fucking platform, and you buy it like a stock, like a security.
Yep. I think the big difference, like, is not the definition of like what a security is as compared to what a utility is. I think the big difference is going to be the regulation. The security tokens, they're going to be regulated by the SEC, which gives a lot of people peace of mind. Institutional investors, retail investors.
Oh yeah.
Security blanket.
Yeah, exactly. Literally. I think that's the big difference. It's not, it follows these rules with a Howey test, or it's by definition this or that. I think if something is labeled as a security token, it's going to be regulated by the SEC, and it gives you peace of mind to invest in it, knowing that it's not some scammy ICO, because it can't be considered a security token if it's a scammy ICO.
And the interesting thing, just real quick on that one, to me, is that is to me the even broader and bigger and better, sexier argument for Bitcoin. me and Heston were talking about this before the show. If the SEC can regulate these coins, and that's the direction that we're moving into, is that, you know, for mass adoption, we're looking for this global appeal. So we want it to be regulated so that people feel comfortable. There's some kind of something akin to an FDIC or some kind of insured backward, something to make sure you don't lose your coin. You're dealing with government attacks, government regulations, lawsuits. People can get sued. So in the case of Ethereum, Vitalik can get sued. They can sue Ethereum. Ethereum is a company. But Bitcoin, who the fuck are you gonna sue?
Technically not a company.
Yeah, okay, foundation, whatever. But it's an
They
organization.
sue me because I'm Satoshi.
Hesto is Satoshi, by the way. Breaking
Well,
news.
technically, I mean, Bitcoin's a currency, and currencies are already less regulated than commodities and securities. Highly less regulated.
What are you talking about, man? The Fed is like totally on the up and up. It's legit. You know, it's
So that's
it's like
crazy.
everybody.
That makes
Like,
a
if you look at
huge case for
forex
Bitcoin.
trading versus commodities trading versus securities trading, the forex market's basically, before the crypto market, basically the wild west of trading right now.
Wow. Wicka, wow.
I mean, when it comes to regulation, I mean, sure, there is regulation in forex a lot more than in the crypto market, but in reference to the other markets at the time, it was the least regulated.
Yeah, but I just mean that like the more and more regulation creeps its disgusting tentacles into the decentralized marketplace. And of course it will, by cover of, I mean, that's the way this always happens. They come in and they say, listen, we're doing a good thing. We're protecting people. Linda,
okay.
listen. Linda calling next week, by the way, guys. And it's always the same way. Come on, we're saving, we're doing a good thing. We're helping people. I got a net neutrality video out on kind of the same concept. But with Bitcoin, one of the really beautiful things is there's no head to swing at, right? There's no roots to chop at. It's so like truly decentralized that there's no, you can't regulate it.
That's why Bitcoin will always have a place in the space. That's why it just always will. I think this is a good thing. Just in my opinion, I think there's no stopping regulation. Like the bigger it grows, governments are just going to sit by and be like, yeah, it's cool, guys. Spend all, do your own thing, spend your money. Like they're going to want to be in charge of it or have some sense of control. So like regulation's inevitable. And the security tokens, to me, it's a good way to get in early on some investments, and hopefully it blows up on some of these security tokens. So I think it's a really good thing. But I also think it's another reason why Bitcoin will never go anywhere, because there's going to be those people. There's always going to be those people that don't want to be regulated, that have that libertarian mindset, and they want to be able to transact freely with people without regulation and without governments being in the middle, without banks being in the middle. So that and Bitcoin is really the only cryptocurrency out there that has nobody at the head. I mean, they have a core development team, but they don't, nobody knows Satoshi, so they don't have anybody to go after.
That's Craig Wright.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all knew that, but
What?
That's Craig Wright.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, my boy,
Craigers.
Craig
So yeah, the security tokens are the antithesis of that. They are the
you were saying just
it's
about
like a true stock.
Well, but
On a blockchain.
think about security tokens as
Block
well.
that shit on the
Is
chain.
they're trying to break that down a little bit as well. Sure, they're regulated. They're going to be there, but I feel like they're kind of a middle ground because.
So are you security chains? Are you security token? You bullish on security
Advocate?
tokens?
Sure. I mean, I
Are
don't
you
know.
a brand advocate or a brand detractor?
I'll have to see more about it in the space before I become an advocate for it. There's just not enough out there right now to really.
I think one of the
What
reasons
is
that we
out
don't
there right
see
now?
more, you know what?
are the coins out there?
I don't know. I couldn't find any.
Supposedly there are a few, but I haven't found any either. But you know what I think the reason for that, or one of the reasons for that, is exchanges aren't going to touch that shit with a 10-foot pole, because if they try to
like a
trade,
logo.
well, if they try to, well, not just that, but if they try to trade a security token on their platform, they have to fucking go through the SEC.
Oh.
They have to abide by all the regulations, and no exchange is going to do that.
And if they
They
don't,
don't
What
do
about
it right
Polymath?
now.
But wait, what about Polymath?
Well,
It's not a
that's a
security
whole nother. That's a whole nother thing. I think we're going to get into in a little bit.
yeah.
But right now, as it stands,
That was the transition. to it.
Binance. Oh, like as it
Screw
stands.
your transition.
Okay,
thing.
yeah,
We're still.
It's literally
Screw
item B. It's literally item B on the list, so we need to get to B.
All right, we'll move on. We'll
From
move on.
A.
And back to A.
We'll move on to Polymath.
And back to A.1.
So
03.
right now, Binance isn't going to accept. They're not
None of
going
them are.
to. You're not going to trade any security tokens.
They get fined. Who was it that got? There was an exchange that got fined for trading securities that weren't registered. It was like Scott Trade or somebody recently. Maybe not recently, in the last 10 years. And they got fined like $500 million or something like that. It was something ridiculous.
Yeah, but the assumption here, I thought, is that these security tokens would be registered with the SEC, correct?
Well, yeah, but an exchange that trades
Is
those
is
is
it
going to have to
unregistered with
abide
the
by
SEC?
those
And trades
rules.
registered tokens. Does that make sense?
No.
Wait, no. So okay, so I guess we got two different perspectives. Then here we got either Binance picks up AT&T stock, or we got Bittrex picks up. No, I'm sorry, I'm tripping. So either like Binance picks up AT&T, or Scottrade picks up.
Okay,
Ether.
so security tokens will be a registered security, correct? We're all in
Yes.
agreement with that.
Yes.
So why couldn't
So
Scottrade
to
pick that
trade
up?
a registered security,
They
you have to
can.
be a licensed
As far as I know.
security trading platform.
Yes, and that's why Binance won't do it, because for Binance to pick up and trade a security token, they have to become
Wow, that's
SEC
very
regulated.
man. That's
So they
very
won't ever
interesting.
do that.
So yeah, but that's crazy to me. So then all these security tokens are predicted. Everybody keeps saying they're going to be the next big thing,
Mhm.
but like the moment that all these offshore exchanges, which everybody loves the freedom of, because they can do whatever the fuck they want in this space, the moment they lose the ability to do whatever the fuck they want, and they have to kowtow to the American SEC, which is crazy. Like Kraken is a European exchange. Why? I mean, they're going to have to. What are they going to do? They're going to register with the
Well,
European
yeah, Binance
market
is
and
in what, Malta? So
Uh,
they'll probably just keep doing what they're doing, and security tokens will have their own exchange called T0.
yeah. Okay, so that's what you got. So there's. So I get. Is there two options? Is there T0 is going to be the security token exchange, or do you think it's more likely that Scottrade or Fidelity picks up some of these, like the T0? I know T0 is an exchange, but also like the company T0, the token T, the number 0, which is different than, because on radio you guys can't see the difference, but T, the word 0 is the exchange, and T, the number 0 is the coin.
Mm-hmm.
And so could Scottrade or Fidelity pick up the T0 security token if it's registered with the SEC?
sure.
I would think so.
So then that,
I
to
would
me
see why they
seems
couldn't.
like why would you need T0 the exchange?
Because so the way I understand this is
Wait,
basically
shouldn't we explain what Polymath and T0 is before we start talking about it?
we skipped over B and went straight to C.
Yeah.
Actually, that's Roman numeral I.
VI.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll backtrack real quick and let's talk about what is Polymath and what is T0 and T0. This is already annoying.
Okay, so
Polymath, go.
With this new world of security tokens, supposedly it's supposed to blow up, and I do think it will, in my opinion. Polymath is not a security token; it's a utility token. It's the ERC20 token, and they have developed a protocol to build SEC regulated security tokens. So Polymath is like the protocol that you would build your ICO, but your legal ICO, legally traded security ICO.
It's like LegalZoom for.
Yeah, pretty much. And then T0, which was founded by the CEO of Overstock, it is basically just an exchange for security tokens. And they have partnered up. So if you want to start a security token, you would use Polymath to create it and then trade it on T0. So that's their partnership. That's basically how they work together. And if security tokens do end up being a huge thing, everybody's saying that security tokens are going to take over for ICOs and they're just going to blow up because just that peace of mind that people have, they'll invest. If they do, man, Polymath and T0, they're right at the beginning. T0 currently is the only exchange that you can trade security tokens on. Now, it's not live. They don't have any yet, so take that with a grain of salt. But at the moment, they are the only ones even like stepping into the arena.
So and Polymath to me seems like I think LegalZoom is like a perfect example of what Polymath is. It's just a guide system to help people get from you were going to start an ICO and then go through the bullshit of trying to come up with a use case for a coin so that you could raise capital. Now you don't have to go through that rigmarole. You just say, I'm starting a company. It's blockchain based. And then Polymath will help you with all the SEC regulation and the type of things. So you don't need Polymath. One of the things when I was reading all the Polymath stuff, the way they pitch it, it sounds like you have to have Polymath to get into security tokens. That's not the case. You can do it yourself through, hiring your own lawyers and that kind of shit. But Polymath is like a one-stop shop, like LegalZoom.
Like a template.
Exactly. And
I would say
kind of push you through.
It's kind of like Ethereum. People build their ICOs on the Ethereum blockchain. I think that's kind of what Polymath is trying to do.
Well, what was that coin we did last week?
That literally said Polymath, the Ethereum of security tokens.
Yeah, there you go.
What was that coin we did last week where it was basically Ethereum, but also they helped you, like they gave you help with
Dragon Chain?
Was it Dragon? Yeah, okay. And Hesto, you just got some.
Yeah, I got some. I got 3.
So I think it's probably more accurate to say
that $3?
Yeah.
You're $1 a piece right now?
Yeah.
So this is like the Dragon Chain.
$3.70 or $3.30 or something like that.
Better cash out, man. You just hit the
to the moon. Give me a McDouble.
Shit, I remember when McDoubles used to be 99 cents.
Yeah, now they're $1.49 or something like that.
Yeah, should have bought a bunch of McDoubles and
that would probably have better return on investment right there.
Cheeseburger Eddie.
See, inflation rates of McDoubles is just
it's to the moon.
Ridiculous.
You're gonna have to really blow up in your Polymath and your T0.
See,
there's a process too. You could just leave them on the counter, the McDouble, and they would last for 15 years. They're like Twinkies.
Exactly. But back to Polymath for a second here.
No, let's talk more about.
I feel like you're saying that like it's a
McDonald's thing. So I didn't really understand. I was reading about it and how. So one of the big things for security tokens, and I saw this when I was reading about Polymath, was how it would take banks out of it. It would take a lot of the middlemen out of the whole security process. And I don't see how that's, it would take out basically the Scottrades, the platforms out of it as well. But it sounds like that's a farce because 100% they're going to need some sort of platform to trade the security tokens. Now, one benefit I did see was that a lot of these securities, and when a business is starting an ICO or something to that effect, an IPO actually is what I was looking for. Those initial investors, there's only so many that can be brought in. But if you were to go about the process of starting it with a security token, anybody in the whole world who has an internet connection can be an investor into your platform. And I think that's one of the big things that'll drive security tokens in the future, because if you're starting an IPO or starting a business in general and you want to get investments, and ICOs are the thing of the past, then it's going to have to be security tokens that are going to take over. And just that being able to reach that broad spectrum of people to be able to invest into your new business, I think is what'll drive it and what could make them huge in the future.
And think about all the what was it last week, Brandon, when you were talking about you were at your family-in-law's, your mother-in-law's house, and some country guy was like, stay away from that Bitcoin. You'll lose your ass. No.
I was at the some livestock rodeo in South Houston.
What I'm saying is, like, all those people that are like that crypto thing is a scam. Well, if these things are regulated just like stocks are regulated, those people aren't going to say that anymore. At least some kind of percentage of them are going to be like, oh, well, it's just like a stock. It's just, a little bit different than a stock. And they're way more likely to invest now. So it just opens the doors to like a whole group of people that wouldn't invest because they're too scared.
Yeah, that makes me think of Pink Sheets, though. That makes me think of my years of losing money in the penny stocks. They're just anybody and their fucking brother can show up, open up a company. It's registered with the SEC, and you can start raising money. And then all of a sudden you look at it and you Google their business and it's a hair salon or like some dude's house.
Well, how you stop that? You just don't lose your money. you still do your own research. You just make sure you're investing in the right projects, and you'll be fine.
Well, to me, it seems like it has a potential to maybe even develop a reputation like penny stocks.
It might.
Because cryptos already have that, stigma.
Oh, yeah, they do. Well, because there's so many fucking scams out there, and there's so many people that don't look into it enough, and they get scammed all the damn time. Stop getting scammed, people.
It is that. Well, so there was a thing on Twitter recently. I forgot who sent it out, but they asked the question, like, you know who it was? It was Doug Polk. He said, if you get scammed on what is a seemingly obvious scam, is that your fault? And he put a poll out there.
Yeah. And
I'll ask you guys, what's your thoughts on that?
I think it is totally your fault. Yes. I think it's 100% your fault.
Agreed.
So I guess I'm always the odd guy out. But I feel like this is the same thing. I had the same conversation with a guy when I worked at AT&T a decade ago. He said, if you leave your keys in your car and somebody steals your car, that's your fault. You left your keys in the car.
I agree there too. That's actually against the law. It's illegal. You can't do that. You can't leave your car running with the keys in the car.
No, I just said leave your keys in the car, like in your seat.
Yeah. Well, that's still not smart. You shouldn't do that.
I get it. I get it. It's not smart.
You made.
Yeah. So this is like, I guess this is the ultimate question, right? At what point does the liability become on you to take responsibility for your own safety and the own security of your property?
I would say at every single action that you take, including investing.
Yes. Although in this situation, it's definitely the thief's fault, in my opinion. It's absolutely the thief's fault. It's not your fault. but you definitely have to take 100% responsibility. That's why where it's a complicated thing. These scams are very much the same way. If you get suckered into one of these goofy ICOs and you put your money in there, I replied to the post to the DTalk podcast Twitter that you should only be investing what you can afford to lose. This is crypto 101.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason I disagree with you is that those scammers and thieves, they'll always be there. That's just the way the world works. Those scammers and thieves are always going to be out there. It's up to you to take personal responsibility and make the right investments. Now, that's coming from somebody that has thousands of freaking kin coins. I didn't do my research on that one. I just FOMO'd like crazy and thought it was going to moon, and I've lost like 91% of my investment. So I've made mistakes too. And
what about a person with a mental handicap?
They shouldn't be investing. You're saying you think you should pass legislation to block people? No. I think yeah.
Well,
don't you put that evil on me. No, I think
okay. So it is a
hopefully those disabled people. Hopefully those disabled people would have some kind of loved one around them that would.
They don't. They're a person who's mentally handicapped. They don't know it. You know what I mean? Like this is a fucking, like you see like a crazy person on the internet.
Yeah.
They think they're probably a very high level intellectual, and they're making these power players. I can relate to feeling that way and not being it. But
those are just unfortunate.
I'm talking about myself.
I mean,
by the way, I really appreciate you guys letting me show up on this thing.
It's surprising hearing
me out every week.
It's surprising hearing that coming from the libertarian of the group. You know, like I feel like those people, there's unfortunate casualties, like disabled people that are investing. They shouldn't be investing, but I don't want somebody out there regulating like who can invest and who can't. So that's just an unfortunate casualty that they would invest and not do their research. Just like somebody that has a high IQ or a low IQ, you should always do your research. And if you can't, then that's unfortunate. But I don't think there should be regulation out there that prevents that or something.
What about elderly people who get caught? So like 90% of these the African Prince email scam, and those kind of things. You know, that's elderly people. Those are people that are preying on the elderly. Definitely. And they're not mentally handicapped, but they are at a disadvantage.
QVC does that every day, don't they?
Hell yeah, they do.
Good topic though. A story actually, because I'm
cold in your house. Here's a sweater.
I had a user if anybody knows this, but I do IT, and I had a user call me the other day. This girl was like in her early 20s, and she was like, I got a pop-up on my computer, and it was like Microsoft has detected a virus, and it said call this number. And I was like, well, you didn't call it, right? And she's like,
also, you have a Mac, ma'am?
Yeah. She was like, oh yeah, I called it. I was like, oh God. And she was like, yeah. And they were like, oh, we have to remote into your computer to delete the virus. And I'm like, well, you didn't let them remote in, right? And she's like, well, yeah. And I'm like, what the? So, and she was like in her 20s. And so, yeah, they remoted in and gave her a virus. And she was like, and that stuff started sounding fishy. Like he started getting an attitude with me. And so I hung up on him. I'm like, well, it was too late by that point. You idiot.
Well, that's good. That's good to know that the scammers in the world have such poor customer service that they won't get far in their scam before they like lose patience with it.
Yeah. You started asking questions.
It depends on which
like
scammer you get. Me and Kristen had one on the phone for about an hour and a half one time before he got fed up with us and was like, fuck you guys.
I had one guy tell me to go fuck my mother on a phone call.
Well,
I didn't.
Was this a scammer or this just like an unrelated, like frustrated person?
It was just. It was you.
Me. I was like, good day.
It was you guys, you bastards.
Yeah, I think part of I think being a libertarian is that you have to be able to argue both sides. You have to be able to fully articulate all sides of an argument before you come to a conclusion. I don't know the answer to how do you protect the people who are disenfranchised or vulnerable
problem
while
is,
leaving the space free for those. And then how do you determine which people are vulnerable? And that is the ultimate line, the cross line, the blurred line that I think so many politicians take advantage of.
you can never protect everyone. That's the
Oh yeah.
So
Oh,
there's
yeah.
going to be, like Heston said, is as sad as it is, there's going to be the people that get taken advantage of, no matter what, and it's just there's people out there that take advantage of people to make money, and it's a sad fact, and there's no way around it, really.
I think that's true. As far as we've evolved in culture, it's like lions. You got your hut, you're indigenous people somewhere, and fucking lions, man. They,
I don't.
fucking get you.
Please elaborate.
No, I just mean like there
Bears,
there are predators.
There's
Yeah, piranhas and
sharks.
sharks. Well, I just
predators.
I just mean that there are predators. There are predators from a very like literal perspective, for like first generation cultures. The Babylonians. I'm just saying, like first generation cultures. There are predators. You have to deal with predators. Still today, we've got this supposedly advanced and highly evolved and cordial society, and yet we still got these predators that will essentially, they don't eat you like a lion would eat you, but they eat your retirement and your income and your house, and they take your, they scam you out of everything that you have, your livelihood, things that you've built. It's
Well, it sucks for those people.
Mhm.
oh man, you guys are
Way of the world, man.
harsh
The way of the
liberals.
world. It's survival of the fittest, man. If you can,
We've totally switched roles today.
yeah, you're right.
We've 100.
You're so altruistic today. I think if you're
altruistic.
gonna get screwed and scammed, then
Futuristic.
you should probably not get scammed. If you
No. I totally agree, but I just mean, what about people who aren't smart enough to make
get
that
scammed.
call? Right? Yeah. Either they have a mental disability, they're too young, or they're too old, or maybe they were out of the country for a long enough period of time. People who were in prison and then did their time, came back. Let's say give them the benefit of the doubt. They did their time. They did the right things. They were a model prisoner. Now they want to be interjected in society. They don't know what the fuck a computer is. They've been in prison for 15 years. So then they get on there.
computers in prison.
I think so.
Definitely.
Yeah, but most of that is child porn.
Well, yeah, that's for sure.
So I'm talking about
I just go
using a
back to the
computer
same.
to do
I go back to the
finances.
same thing, man. Survival of the fittest. Sucks for those people, but that's just the way the world works. We're not gonna hold everybody's hand just because they have an unfortunate event in their life.
Yeah, sadly,
And I'm the hippie of the
So
group,
it's back to those lions.
I'm the
tigers,
hippie in the group,
bears.
but I also
Oh my!
I believe in personal responsibility for like every action that you take on a daily basis.
I'm like
I
a
think
business
that's-
hippie, man.
I think investment goes with that. I think when it comes to investing, you have to know what you're investing in. Now, if you don't have the tools to do that, then you probably shouldn't be doing that. And if you don't know that you shouldn't be investing because you don't have the tools, then that just is that's just an unfortunate event. But
So another very unfortunate event is happening in the news right now, and that is Ripple is going through, or actually is maybe just kind of eked out of a class action lawsuit. And the definitive answer, we find out actually tomorrow whether or not Ether is definitively a security or not, as viewed by the United States government.
yeah, so let's hit on that Ripple class action lawsuit. Yeah, I could have sworn I saw something that said it was dropped, but then I tried to look it up again, and I can't find it. So I guess we're just gonna go with it's still ongoing. So basically, a guy looked at Ripple, and he was invested in Ripple, and oh my god, it was such a small amount too. Like it was like 100 Ripple or something. Oh no, he bought Ripple at like $2, like $100 worth. But that's it, like $100 worth.
He needs to sue CNBC.
Yeah, right. He probably
Buy
should.
at $4 or whatever.
Oh no, I'm sorry. $585. He bought it at $2.60, and he bought $580 to $85, and he sold off at $1. Okay, I'm totally wrong. He bought 650 Ripple at $2.60, and he sold it at $1.70. So he lost about $585. I mean, if this is this guy's life,
Yeah. But it's a class action.
But
It's a
yeah,
class action.
that's who started it.
To
That's who-
50,000 people or whatever.
Well, this is the original guy, Coffee. That was his name. That started the
Coffee.
class action lawsuit.
Like the drink.
Got people to join in. That also
They
lost
spelt
money.
different.
But his lawsuit was essentially claiming that Ripple is acting like a security illegally, and that they don't fit they don't pass the Howey test, but they're still acting like a security, and trading like a security, but they're not legally a security. So started a class action lawsuit. So we'll see how that pans out.
I would say Ripple's probably one of the ones that's closer to a security.
Well, no, the big difference is, though, Ripple and XRP are two different entities.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So,
But are they?
That's the thing. Well, yeah, they are. They are, because the XRP is the token that, like, that's the thing, is like, what is the real connection from XRP and Ripple? If you look on Ripple's website, they say XRP has no intrinsic value. They like literally say that XRP doesn't serve a purpose. On their website, they say that. Now, it's in like super fine print, but
So the Howey test is like, how we gonna figure this shit out?
how long did it take you to think of that?
Oh, I've been holding it in. I mean, ever since you said Howey a minute ago.
Oh my god. So anyway, yeah, there's class action lawsuit against Ripple saying that they're acting as an illegal security right now, which is could be big. It could be big if it comes to fruition, and we'll see what happens with that.
Another great argument to move it into. I think Ripple should have been a security token to begin with, right? This is what I'm saying. All these companies, they create a bullshit token or a coin to just be in the cryptocurrency game, when there's no fucking need for a coin. They don't need a currency. They just need people to be investing in them, in their company that's involved in the cryptocurrency markets or on the blockchain. And so they try to force feed themselves into a coin, which is why their lawyers probably made them write, this coin has no value, no intrinsic value. Not that intrinsic value is what you really need, but still no utility. And there's lots of coins out there that make that statement in their official documentation.
EOS?
Exactly, EOS.
Oh, don't get me started on EOS, man. Okay, so what else were we talking about in the news? Ether. Yeah. So let's see. It is May 6th when we're recording this. So by the time this comes out, that
Will have been decided.
Will be decided. But tomorrow, the SEC is supposed to decide. And this isn't guaranteed. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't even make a decision.
Let's do it. Let's throw it out there. Let's make predictions then.
They're supposed to decide if Ethereum is going to be classified as a security or not.
I say no.
So, what's y'all's opinion? Not what you predict the SEC to do, but what do you guys think? Do you think Ether is a security, or do you think it's a commodity?
Is it a commodity? I don't. Man,
Are those the only two choices, or is it?
Do you think it's a security or not? Let's just go with that.
I think it was. We discussed this. I think it probably was at one point. When they issued their initial coin offering, it was probably a security at that point. I mean, you could probably make a case for the fact that it still wasn't, but to steal your thunder a little bit, I know you mentioned this earlier, Heston, but there's no centralized form there that's driving the Ethereum blockchain. The foundation isn't really what's generating the funds for that.
Yeah, so like when you look at the definition of the security, it's like it specifically says it's an investment with an expectation that it goes up because like due to the company behind the investment. And yeah, Ethereum, if anything, I would say the price goes up not just because of speculation and adoption, but because the miners, which is just the community, is increasing inflation because they're mining it and creating more coins. And
exactly.
it's not Vitalik that is like upgrading all these things, and that's why the price is going up. And
yeah,
that
the
might have
value,
influence, but that's not the main reason.
yeah, the value of Ether and its functionality is not because of the foundation. It's because of all the developers, the miners, and the users that are using the platform.
Yep, I would say that alone crosses it off the list of being a security.
The only thing that makes me hesitate from thinking that a government body, which there's no fucking telling what they'll do, will do the right thing and make the logical choice, which I think you guys are making a great case for, is that people en masse are treating Ethereum like a security.
Yeah, that's the thing,
And
man.
so
There is a gray area,
right? So if the SEC or if the regulating body, or I guess it's a
Well,
judicial.
that's not in the Howey test. It doesn't. There's no thing in the Howey test that says how are people treating this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, does it follow this rule, this rule, this rule, this rule? And
Well,
if it's
yeah,
not
but
following
this
one
is-
of them.
But this is something very different, and so I think some smart lawyer is going to say, "Well, can we really use the Howey test to apply to this thing that's not?"
If
That's
Family
not-
resemblance
If
test.
they did, well, that's the cool thing because that
This sure
Howey
does
test,
look a lot like an exchange. Yeah,
the Howey test is not just like a test that they've been like, that's what we're going to do. That's a Supreme Court ruling. So to overrule that, they would
this
have
could
to
very
have
well go
another-
to the Supreme Court. In
It
fact,
could.
because it's unprecedented in the court. There's no precedent for it. It very well could, and in fact, it probably will not be settled tomorrow. It probably will go to the Supreme Court because both sides will appeal this shit all the way up. I'm sure.
I would say this, like, this could have a huge impact, not just on Ethereum, but the whole entire crypto space. Especially
Most
if
definitely.
tomorrow they say, you know what, Ethereum is a security. Oh my God, I think the market is going to have a huge crash because of all the ERC20 tokens that are based on the Ethereum blockchain. Because if
I'll just pick up some Ethereum on Robinhood tomorrow.
if Ethereum is a security token, then what are all those ERC20 tokens? And are they abiding by SEC regulations? Hell no, they're not. So what happens to all of them? They could just crash, like, substantially. So that's my opinion and prediction. If it gets classified as a security, I don't think it should be. I don't think it will be, but it could be really, really catastrophic for the market. If
Well,
it
and
gets
once
classified.
again, I just have to shout it on the rooftops. This is the perfect case for Bitcoin. This is something that can't happen to Bitcoin. It doesn't have a head. It doesn't have a leader. Even if you knew who
We already
Satoshi,
established that I'm Satoshi.
Yeah, but
I mean, you still even though Hesto is definitely Satoshi,
You can't find me, bitches.
he still
No.
doesn't. You know,
I think you're
he still
making
makes time to go on this
unfounded claims there.
podcast.
Because Vitalik's not being questioned here. They're questioning the Ethereum blockchain. They could 100% do the same thing to Bitcoin and say, is Bitcoin a security? They don't have to bring anybody to the Supreme Court to say that. They could just bring Bitcoin up on its own and say, oh, hey, Bitcoin's a security. Now,
How
can
do
they
you
do it?
Yeah, exactly. You could never enforce it. That's my point. Is
Yeah.
that with Ethereum they can enforce it. With Bitcoin they can decree whatever they
How
want.
can they enforce it on Bitcoin? I mean, how can they enforce it in Ethereum and not on Bitcoin?
because Ethereum has an organization, so they could arrest the developers. They could shut down the building.
They could.
Where it changed is at the fork. The Ethereum Classic with the DAO, the Ethereum Classic and the Ethereum fork, that's where it changed and became centralized under Vitalik. So if that fork would have never happened and it stayed as Ethereum Classic, it was almost identical to Bitcoin. But because of that fork, the development team did that upgrade and it became centralized under that team.
Yep.
So
and the fact that
they after them at this point.
Yeah, and the fact that Ethereum has the ability to make changes to their blockchain makes it A, not really a blockchain, and B, that means that a government agency could compel them to make a change to their blockchain, i.e. shut it down, which could not happen with Bitcoin.
Yeah, but there's still unaffiliated developers. Even if they went and shut down the foundation, somebody could straight up fork Bitcoin or fork Ethereum. I don't know why I keep saying Bitcoin.
True.
And run it straight off of there. I mean,
yeah, they could, but then it would be decentralized, and then it wouldn't be Ethereum anymore. They wouldn't have the support.
Just go, yeah.
Yeah.
Ethereum Classic squared.
It would be like that Coca-Cola that failed. What was that? Coca-Cola
Clear
Zero?
or Crystal?
Zero is the bomb. Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is my favorite drink of all time.
Mine's water.
Yeah, it was Coca-Cola Clear. That's what it was.
Oh, I thought it was Crystal. Coca-Cola Crystal?
Coca-Cola
Pepsi Crystal. I think it was Pepsi Crystal.
Oh, yeah. They tried. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right.
Pepsi now has a Pepsi Zero Sugar. I mean, come on, Pepsi. Come on.
Is that like T0?
It is. It's like T0, the word zero, and T0, the exchange T0, which is our coin focus. And our week. this is our coin of the week focus. So so let's get into T0. Let's break it down. What is T0? And what is T0? But be clear.
That's all it is.
It's an exchange for.
It's Binance without any coins on it.
Yeah. I think we kind of gave an overview of it earlier. You know, it's basically going to be an exchange that hosts security tokens, and currently they are the only ones that are SEC regulated, and they've gone through all the paperwork to do that. And
FINRA.
So basically, from what I got from it, I watched a presentation from the CEO, Patrick Byrne, and that's the CEO of Overstock. I personally like the guy. I think he's a good guy, but he already had this platform and was using it to trade Wall Street securities and shorts. And then he, in his own words, he blockchainized it. And so now they're going to do cryptos. They're going to do security tokens.
The whole thing is ironic to me. It's an exchange only for security tokens that has its own cryptocurrency token, which once again is just it's like a hand jam into to find a reason to have a token so that you can raise money for your project.
I didn't realize
the token doesn't do anything.
They actually traded stocks on the platform for a short period of time.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's why it's SEC approved, is because he already had a working platform that he was trading stocks on, and I think
for 6 hours.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. He didn't say that in this presentation.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. Yeah.
What did you say, Brandon? There was. I wondered.
You got to get in and get out. You know.
Oh, the token. Yeah, see, that's the part that confuses me too, is like the T0 token. I'm not exactly sure what purpose that's going to serve. Like, there's a lot of things I like about T0. Like, if security tokens do take off, T0 is going to be like the first one in the game. I do like Patrick Byrne. It seems like most of the things he touches, they go.
But that's
up
why it's so shady.
But
because you think that you're investing in, you're like, okay, I like T0. That's a badass project. Oh, I'm gonna buy some T0 tokens. they're not. The price of a T0 token is in no way correlated to the utility of T0, the exchange.
Well, that's not necessarily
awesome and badass, and yeah, they could tie it together
because we don't know yet. It could be like BNB coin, where
Right,
you
where you
buy
gotta use
T0,
it.
you get shorter or you get smaller transaction fees or something like that.
Yeah.
We don't know if they're still in their like super baby stages. They're the very beginning of this thing.
But even that's what I mean. Like they're just coming up with clever, like the BNB token. That's a perfect example. They're basically just coming up with clever ways to almost kind of make it make sense to have a coin associated with just some fucking project that you're doing that you're trying to raise money for. That's my only thing.
I don't know. I like BNB.
I like
coin.
BNB coin too.
I think
they
it has
do
one of the
have-
best use cases for any coin out there.
I do too.
It has one of the best. It's
Yeah.
I don't think it's very good though. It's one of the best. It's not very good.
I don't know, man. I think it's a really good idea.
Well,
I
next
agree.
time I stay overnight,
I think you
and
don't
I'm looking for
trade
eggs Benedict in the morning.
I think you don't trade enough to use it, and I don't even think you've used Binance before, have you?
No, I use Bittrex.
Yes, that's why.
Huh.
If you used Binance a lot, then you would see the use case and the.
And especially since their crypto dust thing, I am loving me some BNB right now.
Is it making you any money, or are you just getting a lot of dust?
Well,
It's not just an investment. There's it's a utility. Like you use it to get cheaper transactions,
Yeah.
and
and then
And you guys are using this?
You don't trade enough, but even when I was trading
Yeah.
more frequently and trying to day trade there for a little while, I get $1 here, 50 cents there, 75 cents here that wouldn't
the
get
dust.
transacted every time, the crypto dust. So I have these like minute holdings in all these random ass coins that I can sweep into my BNB, which is amazing now.
Yeah, I do like that little aspect of it as well, because there's a bunch of exchanges that I have 0.0000003 Bitcoin on, and I'm like, damn it, I'll never be able to get that off, because there's always a minimum that you can do, with withdrawing, but with BNB, you could take all those little bitty particles of coins and throw them into BNB, and then you can do something with it.
But what if you just had like Robinhood, like just a zero cost exchange? Wouldn't it just be simpler?
Well, how is it supposed to be zero cost? Somebody's
You
paying
can
for
use
it.
Covenhood,
Some-
sketchy ass
And
Covenhood.
I just
or
used Robinhood.
you could use a
and-
decentralized exchange, and it would be a zero fee. You just
I
Fucking
just
Starbucks.
used the Robinhood, and when I withdrew my money, there was an option to pay Robinhood for the transaction fees. I don't know how that worked, and I couldn't find anything online. But what I do know is that without paying Robinhood for the transaction fees, I would have gotten 2 coins less. And so I checked that box, and it said,
pay Covenant for the transaction fees, or we'll steal them.
yeah. Well, no, I think I didn't pay any. There was no transaction fees because I somehow paid Robinhood. I don't know how it works, but I got more
Well,
coins.
it sounds like a transaction fee.
No, I did, but I didn't have a transaction fee. I literally got all the
But
coins that I
wait.
had.
Yeah, just
But
because the
you
word
paid-
didn't
how
say
did you pay
transaction.
Covenant?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how it works, but I know I got
They
exactly
funneled
how
those
many
2
coins.
coins.
No, they didn't. If I wouldn't have paid them,
Got you.
there were transaction fees until I checked that
They
box.
debited your bank account like $75.
It might be right there. I need to check my bank statement.
Dude, that's like a convenience fee. I hate the fucking term convenience fee. If I have to pay a fee, it's not a fucking convenience anymore.
Well, you got to remember, a lot of these transaction fees are not the exchanges.
Yeah,
They're the actual. There's no getting around it. It's a lot of people call it a miner's fee. There's just, you will have to pay that. That's the whole, like, it's like a central part of cryptocurrencies is like there's
Well, unless you have like
Unless-
what Zuckerberg's got, which is an ad-based system. So if you had an exchange that was just shoving ads down your throat all day long, or forced you to watch a 30-second clip before you bought we need to do that.
well, what
that's a
I'm
great
saying is like
You're
Start an
still going to pay a
exchange.
fee.
fundamental like
No, it'd be
building
like
block of Bitcoin. If you transfer Bitcoin from one wallet to another, you have to pay a mining fee, a transaction
You're
fee.
paying the miners to process your transaction.
Exactly. They have to verify that, so somebody has to pay for that action.
On
There's no-
Bitcoin, yeah, but if you let's just say you have a token that's not proof of work, right? It's just tokens. They're issued the tokens. You buy the tokens.
Yeah,
on
the
exchange.
same way. It's about proof of work.
You got to watch a 30-second video of some, I don't know, Tide commercial or something like that. Then Tide pays your fees.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, somebody has to verify those fees, and who is going to pay? Who is going to pay the person to verify the fees? Because what's the incentive in verifying if you don't get anything? That's the whole point of like the whole blockchain.
Well, what about like proof of holding, like proof of stake?
Proof
right?
of commercial.
Yeah, proof of stake is the same way. You stake your coins, and that's how you verify the transactions.
Yeah, so you don't
that's
lose
how you
any
pay your
coins.
transaction fees.
And in proof of stake, do you lose coins?
Yeah.
No, you stake them to
pay
lose
somebody,
them.
you
You
don't
can
lose.
lose them, or you can gain them depending on if there's incentive. So every coin's different, but there'll always be a transaction fee. Now, there's different coins that take care of those transaction fees in different ways.
You know,
So it
Nano
makes
doesn't have any
Makes
transaction.
it makes it free because they use different consistency algorithms and stuff like that. But there's a transaction fee occurring, but depending on how the coin was like set up, they can take care of those
The
transactions.
universal basic income.
Would you guys at least concede that there are a lot of ICOs out there that don't need a coin?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of shit coins
Sure.
that should not. Yeah, there's plenty of times I've thought like, why are we tokenizing this? Like, why do we
And
need
that's
this?
T0, guys. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I forgot we were talking about T0. Well, back to T0. Like, I do think that they have a future if security tokens can take off. I really like the team. They have a super duper strong team. That's their main. For me personally, I think that's their biggest strength is their team behind it.
Yeah. I think they've got a
Fundamentals.
decent use case too. I don't hate T0. I think it could be an interesting. I mean, it all comes down to if the security tokens actually ever take off and if they get picked up.
Man, if they do take off like they could, like they really like what's possible, T0 is going to be hot.
I think I don't like polymath as much, but I see a use case for it if they do starting to pick up as well. So that could be an interesting one as well.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys. I think that about wraps everything up for this week in crypto. And
This week in Coin Week challenge.
this week in your current week.
Coin Focus week.
Sorry, that was weak. All right, brings us to our 3-on-3 fast break. Fair. We got 8 minutes, 3 minutes apiece, and a little time for me to say this. Each week, we're going to pick 3 coins from the 300 level market cap, and we're going to make our pitch for that coin. We're going to give you an overview of the coin. We're going to tell you what the price is, the market cap, a little bit about the supply and what does it do, and what kind of potential does this coin have in the future. I don't usually go first, so I'm going to put myself through the ringer, and I'm going to start now. Alrighty, guys. 6 seconds of mumbling, and Oxycoin is my coin. Oxycoin. Get your white papers the whitest. Oxycoin. Oxycoin is at 12 cents currently. It is OXY. Oxy is what you're buying. Your tokens are Oxy. Market cap of 13 million. Circulating supply of $13 million, circulating supply of 108 million Oxy, total supply unlisted. So what is Oxy? I'm glad you asked. Oxy, strangely enough, is a coin that is actually an exchange that has a coin that doesn't really have a purpose. Strangely.
Isn't that an oxymoron?
Yeah, I can't believe I did whitest white papers. I missed oxymoron in this whole thing. All right, so it's basically a trading platform. The idea is that they want to make buying and selling cryptocurrencies easier because you can just buy with your fiat. I don't know, the way it's pitched on the website is, I guess, assuming you never heard of Coinbase. So there's that.
Coinface?
Coinface. Coinspace. Yes.
Oh.
So I don't know. It's basically just an exchange. I wish it was better. I wanted it to be better, but it's not.
Do you draw your 300 level out of a hat, and then you have to go with that coin for the day?
No, I usually pick whoever is doing the worst.
Oh, yeah, you told us.
On that time period, yeah, that's usually what I pick. Today, I picked it because it had the name Oxycoin, and I thought, oh, that'll be
Oxycoin.
Oxycoin. Yeah,
That was awful.
Yeah. Well, then, you drive by a police station, and you're like, oh, man, I just got 500 Oxy. You're going to have to explain that. They're digital Oxys. So it's an exchange. You can buy and sell and trade coins. One thing on the Innovate section, they said, we're always looking for better ways to solve everyday problems. Oxycoin makes it easier for beginners to get started and provides experienced traders with the tools and analysis to beat the market without being chained to a computer. So they offer a mobile app, which is also not new. That's my time.
They're really
All
out
right.
ahead of the game on a lot of their stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Esto, tell me about Elastic. Go.
All right. Yeah, my 3-on-3 this week is Elastic, ticker XEL. Currently, they're trading at 37 cents. Their website is elastic.pw. Have a market cap of 34 million, circulating supply of 91 million, and total supply of 100 million. You can find it on Bittrex, Upbic, and interestingly enough, Stellar Decentralized Exchange. You can buy it there. That's pretty cool. So Elastic is a open source project that's been around. They held their ICO way back in the day in crypto terms in 2016. So early 2016 is when their ICO was, and they raised 710 Bitcoin back then. And I don't know what the price of Bitcoin was back then. So yeah, okay. Basically, what they are is an open source project to create the world's first secure, trustless, decentralized, programmable supercomputer. So they're trying to connect everybody's computer resources to create a global supercomputer. So if
Skynet.
yeah, kind of, I guess. So, supercomputers, they're a huge industry. Let's see, 2016 supercomputer industry was about 3.5 billion. It's estimated by 2020 it should be about 4.5 billion. So a lot of money in the supercomputer market. And this is basically trying to do it in a decentralized way. So you can download the wallet, start your own node, and you can donate and your own GPU, CPU processing power to this supercomputer. And so if a business needs some super intensive computational work done, they can pay with Elastic Coin to use the global supercomputer that is Elastic. Or if you're just a personal person or, just an individual and that needs some crazy computational power, you can do the same thing. So
Who hasn't been there?
price wise, man, it's downward facing Dogecoin because they just, they do not go up. The little research that I did, it doesn't look like they do much work. Now they did just come out with their wallet, which is like their test net for the whole system. But I wasn't blown away. I just don't see a lot of like production with the business, and I like to see that, especially if their ICO was in 2016. You would think
10 seconds.
you would see more. As an investment, I don't know. I'd hold off for now. Maybe in the future, I'd like to see more work from him though. This is not investment advice.
Yeah, I would like to see what their sales pitch is. Hey, come and join our decentralized currency to centralize the entire world via computers. Perfect.
Looks like they rebranded themselves recently.
The Z-Line thing?
Yeah.
No, that's the name of their wallet.
Well, you see, they have an old Z-Line website, but then if you go to the actual Elastic website, it says our new website is coming soon.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Well, the elastic.pw is their website, but if you go to the Z-Line testnet, that's their wallet website.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So they got the wallet up, but they can't get their regular website up?
I know. And the wallet website is like way better than their actual website.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I do kind of, the idea is interesting, but I've already gone through my 3 minutes, so I won't.
Prater, stocks, go.
All right. Well, let me start off with saying I wrote stocks on the show notes page about 6 hours ago, maybe 8 hours ago, and it was 81 cents. It's currently 86 cents. So it has already gone up 5 cents in 6 hours today. So that's not bad. Anyways, stocks.
For those of you at home, Prater's also taking a jab at us for not putting our 3-on-3s on fast enough.
I really wasn't, but now that you said that, I noticed that nobody else's were up there. Anyways, so stocks, STOX, STX is the ticker, 81 cents earlier, 86 cents right now. www.stocks.com, market cap 35 million, circulating supply 43 million, total supply 58 million, currently tradable on gate.io, hit BTC, KuCoin, and my favorite, coinexchange.io. So basically, it's kind of a mixture between a gambling coin and kind of a futures market coin.
Church.
So it's an open source, Ethereum-based prediction market platform. So you basically put predictions on there, and you can bet on them, kind of. Or there's
Predictions of what?
just predictions of this coin will be at this price, or
It's going to rain today.
or predictions that somebody
it won't.
win the Super Bowl, or predictions
I'll
that
bet
it's
you
gonna
on
rain
that
today. Basically, you can predict whatever you want, but also like companies and other people can put predictions up there, and you can basically bet on those predictions.
Do they have to be crypto related?
No, you can predict anything.
I predict this coin is going to shit.
Yeah. Finance, sports, politics.
I
and
predict
Listen-
this is
listen
your
to-
card.
Using the wisdom of the crowd combined with our own individual skills and knowledge, people will be able to predict the outcome of events in almost any imaginable category: finance, sports, politics, and even the weather.
No,
Oh,
that's
shit,
bullshit.
I called it.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. I can tell you right
predicted
now.
that.
Yeah.
Because what's his name?
Rusty
Big libertarian guy. He used to have a show. He's a really old guy. John Stossel. That's what I'm talking about. Remember John Stossel?
Yeah.
He used
about
that. He used that hyper prediction model to predict the outcome of the election. It was Hillary.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't. This platform doesn't predict things. You go on there and bet on predictions. It's like
You make your own.
bets.com or
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh, I thought you were saying that they were going to aggregate the predictions and use that
No.
to actually make.
One thing I do like about it is their team is built
10
mostly
seconds.
of team members from i4x.com. So like half their team came from that website, which is a pretty prominent Forex trading website.
We're going to put some extra time on the clock because I think we bogarted it a little bit.
Well, while
good.
your 3-on-3 was going up 6 cents, Elastic was going down 2 cents. So predict that, bitch.
That's all I need to say.
No, it just means mine's about to bounce
Bounce.
all the way to the moon.
Dead cat bounce.
Oh,
And with that, guys, we're going to close on the dead cat note. And that about wraps things up for this episode of The D. Be sure to tune in next week where we're going to interview Linda Coin. And we're going to break down more basics in crypto. Check us out and be sure to send comments at DTalk Podcast on Twitter and Facebook. We see you guys out there making comments on the show. Address it directly. Don't be afraid. Ask us about things you heard in the show and challenge us. You'll lose, but you should challenge us.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Decentralized Talk on iTunes, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Google Play, Spotify, Spreaker, Music Coin.
Basically
We're like
everywhere.
Chicken Man,
We'll
we're
even
everywhere.
come to your house and do it live.
The Thrifty
Fuck
Nickel.
it, we'll do it live. We're at the Thrifty Nickel. We're on the Thrifty Nickel. We paid 50 Dogecoin to get an ad written on there.
You can buy tickets to the show on StubHub. I mean, we're everywhere.
We're everywhere. Those tickets on StubHub are bootleg. Don't buy those.
Yeah.
They're from last week's show.
Links to the website in the description below. As always, guys, stay decent.